Hello friends, this is Wendy, and my life and my desk and my whole craft area and everything is crazy right now. We're going to make this today, only I have no idea how long this is going to take me because our house is, as I have mentioned multiple times, under construction. I'm going to be doing this in between my husband's air compressor, doing whatever it is that it does that makes it go really, really, really loud. But I want to make ornaments for family and friends. Some are here, like that I can just hand them to them, and others are I need to mail them. So I am trying a number of different things. I've completed this one yesterday, and I videoed it, and only some of it got recorded because I was trying to do it in between the air compressor and other things that were going on. So hopefully today I can do a little better job. Need to kind of snip that one. Probably should have run this forward and backwards. Kind of interesting, the different papers. Both of these are Tim Holtz. I think this is an older version because I bought this a while back and it's lasted for a very long time. I will clean these up, but as I'm talking I might as well, work on them. Anyway, in the midst of all this, I had this brilliant idea of taking my project with me, taking my Sidekick by Sizzix cutter and cutting all of the little teeny tiny pieces. But as I was working on this last night, here in the safety of my home, I misplaced one of the teeny tiny pieces. I found it. It's now happily on its little magnet sheet, but that freaked me out, and I thought, you know what? I know we're not supposed to freak or freak, but losing little teeny tiny pieces kind of messes up everything. And I thought, oh no, if this happened while we're at a resort in the mountains and I can't find it before we have to check out and leave, I mean, seriously, there's no finding it on the floor later, right? So I decided to forget that idea and to just get a few done now and then just go and enjoy my vacation, I hope. I want to at least start on this because even though it is September and we've got a few months until Christmas, some of these need to be mailed. Yeah, some of them need to be mailed to Alaska. And they have to be in the mail, like, if you wait until after Thanksgiving, it may be too late. So I think I'm going to have to get them in the mail before Thanksgiving and then try to get everybody else in the mail right after Thanksgiving. But so I have 20 that I need to give away. I may not do them all exactly the same. In fact, I know I won't, because making 20 of exactly the same thing makes me crazy. So I will start with this, and this is Shrub. It's new from Tim Holtz. He comes in the Vault Winter Wishes new Sizzix die set that he just released the other day. The foliage comes from Vault Seasonal Sketch. So the wreath comes from, no, it's not Seasonal Sketch. The wreath and the foliage comes from Vault Festive Wreath. Sorry. I got all three of those, and currently these are the ones I'm going to be working with. But there were two other designs that I wanted to do. So out of these 20 that I'm going to be either mailing or giving to neighbors, this is the first time I've ever lived anywhere where people give neighbor gifts at Christmas. Actually, they give neighbor gifts all the time. And so I've received all kinds of produce from people's yards and all kinds of wonderful things from neighbors. And I need to give them something. I told this one she helped stitch something for me, sew something for me. I know how to sew. My sewing machine is part of this whole craziness that's going on in our house, and I can't get to it right now. So she sewed something up for me, and then she gave me some food. I can't remember what she brought by. I know she gave me jam, and she's given me some fruit and veggies from her garden and stuff. And I thought, okay, I don't cook. And I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't do. And she says, I'm sure there's something that, I know there's things that you do that are, you know, that other people don't. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to make her an ornament. One of these ornaments. Anyway, then I'm getting more chatty than I normally get. But, ooh, last one. So I have 4 to do. Now, one of the things, so when I did this one, in fact, this is an easy one to show. I used watercolor paper, and I did the whole smush and spritz, and then I also used an oxide spray. So I smushed and spritzed oxide, and then I sprayed it. And since then I've watched the video, well, actually before I did, but I was thinking on this video that I watched, actually there were 2 of them. They were saying when you're doing something like this and you're trying to mass produce, to make this process as easy as you can. And I thought, you know, I have an enormous amount of paper. I have an enormous amount of paper scraps. And if I want to make this as easy as I can already start with a blue surface. So I found these were literally, one was sitting on my desk already, just as a scrap that I hadn't bothered to put away, which was this one. And one, it's just slightly darker, ever so slightly darker, that I dug through, and there was just enough to make these 2 circles. So I have 4 circles, and I'm going to be trying a couple of different things to try to make it look a little bit like this without all of the time involved in doing that, because what both of these people were saying was that when you're making things, when you're mass producing and making things, you need to make this as least time consuming as possible. Okay, the first thing I'm going to try is Distress Spray Stain Picket Fence. Picket fence is already oxide, so I guess you didn't bother calling it an oxide. I just want this to look like it's got snow. Okay, first of all, they all turned out equally interesting. None of them were done on watercolor paper, which would make it, I mean, had I used watercolor paper, had I taken all that extra time. But I was able to make these 4 in less time than I made that one. Just using the spray. And I may play with it a little more, but I'm happy enough. This is just the background. This isn't what the whole thing is about. So what I used was, see, I never opened that one. I used a blueprint sketch, tumbled glass, and picket fence. These are oxides. Picket fence is an oxide even though it's called a spray stain. It's got a little thing in there. It's an oxide. All right. I'm happy. So I cut these with a Sizzix circle. I'm going to save the nicer part for the back so I can write Merry Christmas, and the less nice part on the front. I'm just going to glue these down. And for that, I'm going to use Collage Medium. The reason I'm going to use Collage Medium is because this goes on, this is really good for little teeny tiny things, but this will go on a little thicker and easier. I mean, like faster. Yes. This will be faster than using this. And instead of sitting around holding it until it's dried, I'm going to be putting these binder clips on here so that it dries fast anyway, but it just makes it that much faster. Okay, so I am going to insert a video that I made yesterday. I mean, you know, it's this exact project, but I will tell you, I'm scooching my chair, it's always noisy. I put the red down first, and if you look at these, they're oblong. Let me get it where you can see it really good. So they're oblong, more like an egg. So I had one along this way and one the other way, and it makes so pretty. But I put the red down first. So let me do it right here for this. And I will put now my gluing those down. Oh my goodness, I wasn't going to record this, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to finish out this video that I had started, and walk away for a whole week. Here's what happened. Just the other day, my son said that a friend of his was starting a new job next week. I'm like, what do you mean next week? He's going to start on the 23rd, which means it's 2 weeks. And he said, no, Mom, it's next week. And I said, I only have 1 week to get ready. Oh, okay. I probably have mentioned this already, but my husband's mother, who he hasn't seen in like almost 10 years, and his sister, who he also hasn't seen in almost 10 years, they're flying out in just a couple of days. And my original thought was, okay, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get all this stuff done. And then and I'm going to have all 4 of these ready. I will give them to his mother and his sister and whatever. Look, I even did some watercolor. And I just decided there is no way I am going to get all this stuff done, because my husband is he's finishing up the room. So I was getting ready to sit down and do this, and he says, we need to get all the stuff that's in these boxes. Long story short, I have stuff I have to do in order to get this house ready, and so we can walk away from it. I told him just this morning, you have to just stop. You have to stop working on the room. You have to stop sanding and drilling and all this and hammering and we don't have very many days, and we have to clean because we're leaving. So I have these, they're like 3 drawers, and I actually found these in moving stuff from one room to another. This is what the drawers look like with the little button. And moving from one room to another, I had them. They were super, super dusty. They had things in them that were obsolete. And so I threw the stuff in them out. So I put current projects on this. Here's my current project. And it's going to go in its little drawer spot, like right here. Woohoo! So, ooh, see, look at that. So because I'm going to spend the next several days cleaning. Well, it's not several. How many days do I have? So I have no time, do I? I have no time. I need to clean today. But before I clean, I did get this in the mail yesterday. Woohoo! So, where's my scissors? See, I can't find anything. Everything is just everywhere. I have this, I have a second room where we have our garden room where I have my big kick and a giant mess. And I haven't cleaned it for months. So I'm going to totally clean that up. Isn't it crazy? Part of me thinks I should have company visit way more often so that I clean more often. On the other hand, I wish I would have company visit like never, so I never have to clean. So this is vault rosettes. So what I'm thinking about doing, as I mentioned, I need to make 20 ornaments. And if you go back to early on this year, I can't remember what month I made them, but I was inspired by Louisa Heinzel, who you already probably know I love. Anyway, and I made the rosette by using a punch and then folding it myself. I'm very happy to have this. So I'm planning on, let's see how wide this is, because what I want is, this was 1.5 inches. So let's see what this is. This is a little closer to 2. I know I can cut it down after I've made it. So anyway, I'm going to put that then on the wooden disc that you saw earlier. And yeah. And I may put, I like this where she then cut 1/4 of it out, you know, glued it down, then cut 1/4 of it out and used buttons. Yeah. So I'll be happy to play with that after I finish making my current project, which I got one done. But when I get back, I'll probably finish them up because I won't have any company visiting again for a very long time. Look, there's one more. Look at that. So there are 7 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I've got them all. So just so you know, I will get this video finished and posted, and then you'll hear from me again in a little over a week or so, depending on how long it takes me to recoup from my vacation. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, and if you think this is pretty and you haven't seen how I made it, go look that up. I made 2 of them, and I've had them on my mantle all this time, and I'm getting ready to switch over to Christmas. I'm not going to switch over to Christmas immediately. It's still only September, but I'm getting ready to think about it. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And if you enjoyed this, give it a big thumbs up, hit the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye.